Ambassador Sarah Chun stepped through the airlock of Nexus 7, humanity's first diplomatic envoy to the Galactic Collective. The station stretched endlessly in every direction, a metallic labyrinth housing 17 different atmospheric zones. Alien beings floated, crawled, and slithered through corridors designed for species that had mastered interstellar travel millennia before humans discovered fire. Sarah breathed normally in the standard oxygen mix while watching a Vortanian delegate struggle with his breathing apparatus. She had studied for 3 years to reach this moment, memorizing the customs of 47 species and learning basic communication in 12 alien languages. Earth's future hung on the next few hours. The corridor hummed with nervous energy as delegates prepared for humanity's membership hearing. Crystalline beings from the shard worlds whispered in harmonic frequencies. The massive Taurians lumbered past in their environmental suits, while delicate pixie-class entities darted between them like living sparks. None paid attention to the lone human walking confidently toward the council chamber. That changed when the Zephyrian guards materialized from the shadows. 3 insectoid enforcers blocked her path, their compound eyes reflecting the station's artificial lights. Each stood 7 feet tall, with chitinous armor that gleamed like polished obsidian. Their leader, identified by golden rank markers, stepped forward with mechanical precision. Ambassador Sarah Chun of Terra, the guard announced in perfect English, its mandibles clicking between words. You are detained under Regulation 847 Delta, pending security review. Sarah raised an eyebrow. On what grounds? I've submitted all required documentation through proper channels. Your species has been classified as potentially volatile. Recent intelligence reports indicate rapid technological advancement and unpredictable behavioral patterns. The guard produced a restraint device from its utility belt. Compliance is mandatory. Other delegates stopped to watch. Sarah noticed their expressions ranging from curiosity to poorly concealed satisfaction. Several species had lobbied against humanity's admission, arguing that Earth was too primitive, too young, too dangerous to join galactic civilization. I understand your concerns, Sarah replied calmly, extending her wrists. However, I must point out that Regulation 847 Delta specifically requires evidence of immediate threat. Has humanity committed any aggressive acts against collective members? The guard hesitated. Its mandibles twitched as it accessed the legal database through its neural implant. Negative. However, your species' defeat of 3 separate invasion attempts demonstrates concerning military capabilities. Sarah smiled. We defended ourselves against aggressors who violated our sovereignty. Surely the collective doesn't penalize members for successful self-defense. Irregularities in your defensive methods warrant investigation. The restraints clicked into place around Sarah's wrists. The Corvani Empire reported that your species employed tactics described as impossible and illogical. Innovation often appears impossible to those bound by conventional thinking. Sarah allowed herself to be escorted toward the detention levels. The Corvani also claimed our planet was uninhabitable after we repelled their invasion. Yet here I stand. Other delegates murmured among themselves as the procession passed. The Zentorian ambassador nodded approvingly at the arrest, while a Delian representative radiated distress through its empathic field. The construct delegate simply calculated probability matrices, its mechanical mind processing implications. Your confidence is noted, the lead guard said as they entered a transport tube. However, your species' unpredictability makes you dangerous. The collective values stability above all else. Sarah looked directly into the guard's compound eyes. Stability without progress leads to stagnation. Perhaps that's exactly what the galaxy needs to avoid. The transport descended toward the detention levels, carrying Earth's ambassador away from humanity's first diplomatic triumph. But Sarah Chun wasn't worried. Earth had contingency plans for every scenario, and humanity never abandoned its own. Above them, the council chamber prepared to debate humanity's fate while their representative disappeared into the station's depths. The irony wasn't lost on Sarah as the detention cell sealed behind her. The species that had survived 3 alien invasions through sheer determination and ingenuity was being imprisoned for being too unpredictable. The Zephyrians had just made their first mistake. And in the depths of space, long-range sensors began detecting an approaching energy signature that didn't match any known vessel classification in the Galactic database. The detention cell adapted to Sarah's presence, scanning her biology and adjusting its containment protocols. Energy barriers hummed to life, while atmosphere processors fine-tuned the oxygen mixture. The Zephyrians had designed the system for Category 3 sentience, species considered moderately intelligent but predictable in their escape attempts. Sarah examined the walls with scientific curiosity rather than panic. The energy matrix followed patterns similar to human quantum field theory, but with elegant modifications she hadn't seen before. Instead of plotting escape, she began analyzing the mathematical principles behind galactic containment technology. "Fascinating," she murmured, running her fingers along the barrier's edge. "The harmonic resonance creates a self-sustaining field that actually strengthens under pressure. Brilliant engineering." Her guard, designated Zach 9, watched through the monitoring system. Most prisoners either raged against their confinement or cowered in submission. This human was taking notes. Subject displays abnormal curiosity toward containment systems. Zach 9 reported to his superior. Behavior pattern does not match database predictions for distressed captives. The interrogation room was sterile and intimidating, designed to break the will of captured enemies. Sarah entered with the same calm demeanor she'd shown during her arrest. She settled into the restraint chair as if attending a business meeting. Lead interrogator Zach Prime activated the truth scanning matrix. "State your species' military capabilities." "Humans excel at adapting existing resources to solve unprecedented problems," Sarah replied. "We call it improvisation. Your database probably classifies it as chaotic behavior, but it's actually highly sophisticated pattern recognition." The truth scanner confirmed her honesty while flagging her response as incomplete. Zach Prime's mandibles clicked in frustration. Standard interrogation protocols assumed subjects would either lie or provide direct military specifications. This human spoke in philosophical abstractions that contained no actionable intelligence. "Elaborate on your species' weapons technology." "We've learned that the most effective weapons are often ideas rather than instruments. The concept of cooperation, for instance, has proven more powerful than any projectile weapon in human history." Zach Prime accessed 17 different interrogation subroutines. None addressed subjects who answered every question truthfully while providing no useful information. "Describe your fleet capabilities." Sarah leaned forward with genuine interest. "Before I answer, may I ask about your species' approach to faster-than-light travel? The energy signatures I observed during my arrival suggest you've solved the dimensional stability problem through gravitational manipulation rather than space-time compression." The interrogator found himself explaining Zephyrian drive technology to his prisoner. Sarah's questions demonstrated understanding of advanced physics that surprised even the monitoring systems. She discussed quantum mechanics and construct mathematical notation, stellar engineering using Vortanian principles, and biological adaptation theory in 17 different scientific languages. "Your education system is remarkably comprehensive," Zach Prime admitted during a break in questioning. "Humans believe knowledge should be shared freely," Sarah replied. "We study other cultures not to exploit them, but to understand them. Your species' legal frameworks, for example, show fascinating parallels to human justice concepts, but with interesting variations in procedural requirements." She began reciting obscure Zephyrian legal precedents that even Zach Prime's database took several seconds to verify. Her analysis was flawless, and her suggestions for procedural improvements were genuinely innovative. "How does your species acquire such detailed intelligence?" Zach Prime demanded. "We listen," Sarah said simply. "Humans are naturally curious about everything. We study quantum physics and ancient poetry with equal enthusiasm. We analyze military tactics and cooking recipes using the same methodical approach. Your detention protocols, for instance, could be enhanced by implementing redundant backup systems here, and here." She gestured to specific locations in the cell's energy matrix. The modification she suggested would indeed improve containment efficiency by 43%. Zach Prime realized they weren't interrogating a prisoner. They were being educated by their captive. This human possessed knowledge that could advance galactic technology, demonstrated understanding of interspecies relations that surpassed trained diplomats, and showed scientific curiosity that transcended species barriers. Status report demanded the communication system. Has the subject revealed intelligence regarding human military threats? Zach Prime stared at Sarah, who smiled politely while waiting for the next question. The Zephyrian finally understood why his species' rigid protocols felt inadequate. They weren't dealing with a typical sentient being. They had captured something far more dangerous than a warrior or spy. They had imprisoned a teacher, and she was already changing everything. The Galactic Council chamber erupted in chaos as news of Sarah's detention spread through diplomatic channels. Representatives from 200 species filled the massive amphitheater, their voices creating a cacophony of protests, accusations, and political maneuvering that tested even the advanced translation matrices. Chancellor Vex of the Zentorian Empire stood at his podium, his reptilian features displaying satisfaction. The detention proves our point perfectly. Humans demonstrate dangerous unpredictability that threatens collective stability. Their rapid technological advancement and unconventional military tactics make them unsuitable for membership. Ambassador Kira of the Delian Empathy Council radiated waves of indignation through her psychic field. This arrest violates 17 separate diplomatic protocols. The human ambassador committed no aggressive acts and poses no immediate threat. We are witnessing political persecution disguised as security procedures. The construct representative, designation Logic 7, projected holographic probability matrices above its mechanical form. Analysis indicates 97% chance that human detention is politically motivated. Mathematical models suggest human integration would benefit collective advancement by 34% within 50 standard years. Chancellor Vex scaled fists slammed against his podium. Benefit. These humans defeated the Corvani Empire using tactics our military analysts still cannot explain. They repelled Hive Confederation attacks with weapons that shouldn't function according to known physics. They negotiated the Titan Accord using diplomatic strategies that violated every established protocol, yet achieved unprecedented success. Exactly, interrupted Speaker Tam of the Progressive Alliance. Humans consistently find solutions to problems that have stymied our civilization for millennia. Their approach to conflict resolution, scientific research, and technological development offers perspectives we desperately need. The debate raged for hours while Sarah remained in detention. Reports filtered through the chamber, describing her behavior during interrogation. Rather than revealing military secrets or demanding release, she had spent 6 hours teaching her guard about human culture, suggesting improvements to their technology, and discussing philosophical concepts that challenge their fundamental assumptions about intelligence and cooperation. Trade Minister Kell of the Merchant Federation accessed shipping manifests through his neural implant. Human commercial proposals show remarkable innovation. They offer resources we need while requesting knowledge we consider basic. Their willingness to share discoveries freely contradicts standard economic models, but produces superior results. The chamber's central hologram displayed intercepted transmissions from Earth. Humanity's response to the detention was swift and measured. Formal protests through proper diplomatic channels, combined with increased military readiness that didn't threaten anyone, but sent clear messages about their capabilities. They're mobilizing, Chancellor Vex declared triumphantly. This proves humans are inherently aggressive. One detained ambassador, and they prepare for war. Logic 7 updated its probability calculations. Incorrect assessment. Human fleet movements indicate defensive posturing and diplomatic support operations. Aggression probability remains at 3%. Loyalty probability measures at 99%. The debate reached fever pitch when long-range sensors detected approaching vessels. The energy signatures were unfamiliar, using fusion-based propulsion systems rather than the antimatter drives standard throughout the galaxy. The fleet maintained perfect formation at the edge of sensor range, broadcasting identification codes and diplomatic frequencies. Unknown vessels request permission to address the Council, announce the station's artificial intelligence. Ships identify themselves as Earth Diplomatic Security, commanded by Captain Maria Rodriguez of the United Earth Ship Defiant. Chancellor Vex's expression shifted from satisfaction to alarm. A human battle fleet approaches our station while we hold their ambassador. This is clearly preparation for invasion. Ambassador Kira's empathic field detected no aggressive intentions from the approaching vessels. I sensed determination and protective instincts, but no hostility toward the Council. These humans have come to retrieve their representative, not to attack us. The mysterious fleet held position just outside the system's gravity well, maintaining radio silence except for their formal request to address the Council. No weapons were powered, no shields activated, no threatening maneuvers performed. They simply waited with the patience of species that had learned to choose their battles carefully. Status report from detention level, demanded Chancellor Vex. Zack Prime's voice crackled through the communication system. The human continues to demonstrate extensive knowledge of galactic law, technology, and culture. She has identified 43 procedural violations in our detention protocols and suggested improvements that would enhance station security by 60%. Request guidance on how to proceed. The council chamber fell silent as the implications became clear. They weren't just holding a human ambassador prisoner. They had detained a teacher, surrounded by students who were learning more in hours than some species discovered in decades. And now her backup had arrived. The human fleet emerged from hyperspace in perfect formation, 12 vessels arranged with mathematical precision around their flagship. The United Earth ship Defiant dwarfed most galactic designs, its hull gleaming with unfamiliar alloys that sensor arrays couldn't identify. Yet no weapons powered up, no shields activated, no aggressive postures adopted. Captain Maria Rodriguez's voice filled the council chamber through the communication array. Her tone carried the same calm confidence displayed by her sister Sarah during detention. Honorable members of the Galactic Collective, I am Captain Rodriguez of the Earth Diplomatic Security Fleet. We have come to escort our ambassador home. Chancellor Vex scales bristled with alarm. This is an invasion force threatening a peaceful station. We demand immediate withdrawal or face defensive measures. With respect, Chancellor, our vessels pose no threat to your station or personnel. We maintain position in neutral space and request only the return of our representative, who was detained in violation of diplomatic protocols established by your own legal framework. The human fleet's formation was indeed non-threatening, yet every military analyst in the chamber recognized its tactical superiority. The ships moved with coordination that surpassed even Zephyrian precision, while their technology generated energy signatures that made veteran strategists nervous. Logic 7 processed the tactical data and updated its calculations. Human vessels demonstrate technological advancement exceeding collective standards by estimated 40 to 60%. However, defensive positioning indicates peaceful intentions remain at 94% probability. Ambassador Kira's empathic field detected unwavering determination from the human fleet, but no malice toward the collective. They radiate protective instincts and loyalty, not aggression. These humans have traveled across the galaxy, not to conquer, but to retrieve family. Captain Rodriguez continued broadcasting on diplomatic frequencies. While we await Ambassador Chen's release, we offer cultural exchange programs to demonstrate humanity's commitment to peaceful coexistence. Our databases contain mathematical theorems, artistic expressions, and scientific discoveries that we freely share with all interested parties. The human fleet began transmitting data packets containing music, literature, technological innovations, and philosophical treatises. Species throughout the galaxy receive humanity's accumulated knowledge without conditions or payment requirements. The gesture demonstrated Earth's approach to interstellar relations, cooperation through open exchange rather than domination through superior force. Chancellor Vex found his political support crumbling as other species examined the human offerings. The constructs marveled at mathematical proofs that solved centuries-old computational problems. The Delians resonated with human poetry that captured emotions they thought were uniquely their own. Even the Merchant Federation recognized economic theories that could revolutionize interstellar commerce. Motion to release Ambassador Chen immediately, declared Speaker Tam. Her detention violates our own regulations and serves no legitimate security purpose. Seconded, announced Logic 7. Continued detention probability of success, 0%. Human fleet withdrawal probability, without ambassador return, 0%. Diplomatic resolution probability, with immediate release, 98%. The vote was overwhelming. Only the Zentorian faction opposed Sarah's release, and even some of their allies abandoned them when faced with humanity's demonstration of technological and cultural advancement paired with remarkable restraint. Sarah emerged from detention 3 hours later, escorted by the same Zephyrian guards who had arrested her. But now they treated her with respect rather than suspicion. Zack Prime personally delivered her belongings and formal apologies. Ambassador Chun, the guard said, your species has taught us much during your stay. Perhaps humans are not too unpredictable for the collective. Perhaps we have been too predictable for our own good. Sarah smiled as she prepared to address the Council for Humanity's official membership hearing. Zack Prime, the best solutions often come from combining different perspectives. Humans don't want to change the galaxy. We want to help it grow. The Defiance captain watched her sister take her place in the council chamber through the fleet sensors. Maria had brought 12 ships across the void to retrieve one person, demonstrating that humans never abandon their own. But they had accomplished something greater than rescue. They had proven that true strength lay not in the ability to destroy, but in the wisdom to protect, the courage to stand firm, and the generosity to share knowledge freely with former enemies. Earth's ambassador took her seat among the stars, backed by a species that had earned respect through actions rather than words. The galaxy would never be quite the same, and every civilization in it would be stronger for humanity's presence.